All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to totally flip the script on everything society has taught us about success, and more specifically, what it actually means to be truly elite. We all grow up with this very rigid blueprint, right? Get the prestigious degree, secure the flashy job title, climb that corporate ladder. But what if that whole blueprint is just completely flawed? What if we've been chasing a totally fragile illusion this whole time? Well, in this session, we're unpacking some seriously transformative concepts from our source materials that completely redefine the absolute peak of professional and personal achievement. Get ready, because this might literally change how you look at your entire career trajectory from here on out. So, to set the stage, I want to kick things off with this incredibly profound question drawn straight from our source material. Are you risking your life for that work? Do you feel it is your calling? I mean, wow, that hits hard, doesn't it? Usually, we're asking ourselves things like, hey, does this job pay well? Or is this going to look good on my LinkedIn? But asking if you feel a true calling, a sense of duty so deep that you'd literally dedicate your life force to it, that elevates our day-to-day grind from just a simple transaction to this deeply spiritual endeavor. Keep that question burning in the back of your mind as we go through this. Now, the core insights we're breaking down today are rooted in two really powerful foundational texts, The Heart of Work and Work and Love. These sources lay out a framework that meticulously tears down those traditional, superficial metrics of success we were just talking about. Instead of hyperfixating on typical corporate ladders, they introduce us to this game-changing concept of the super elite or the true elite. They don't look at success as this final destination you just arrive at. No, it's an ongoing alignment of your inner spirit with your outward output. It's a massive paradigm shift for sure. Section 1. The Fake Elite Illusion. Let's talk about the fragility of superficial status. You see, society almost always defaults to this fragile illusion. We all know those people who look absolutely perfect on paper, right? The fake elite relies totally on external markers. We're talking the Ivy League pedigree, the glamorous job titles, all those impressive acronyms trailing after their name. They are desperately driven by this hunger for status and external validation. They want the applause, the honor, the whole shebang. But here's the catch. Because their entire identity is wrapped up in things completely outside of their control, they are walking on incredibly thin ice. And that brings us to the most crucial point. When these quote-unquote elites face unexpected failure, like an economic downturn or just sudden personal hardship, their foundation totally crumbles. Since they haven't bothered to build an internal anchor, the second that external applause stops or that fancy job title gets stripped away, they completely lose their sense of self. They basically lack the resilience to weather the storm because their elite status was never really real. It was just a superficial costume, not an ingrained character trait. Moving on to Section 2, defining the true elite. This is all about being forged in the fires of adversity. The contrast between these two paths is just stark. On one side, like we said, you've got the fragile illusion of the fake elite, totally obsessed with personal glory and vulnerable to the slightest breeze of failure. But on the flip side, the true elite relies entirely on internal mental fortitude, not some fancy piece of paper from a university. Instead of breaking down when things get tough, they actually thrive and grow during adversity. And perhaps the most important difference? Their ultimate goal isn't personal honor. It's contributing to the happiness of humanity. It's a totally different operating system for a human being. Let's drill down into that core differentiator for a second. Mental fortitude. Now, this isn't just about putting on a brave face when you have a bad Tuesday at the office. According to our sources, this is an unbreakable spiritual resilience. It means having a spirit so strong that when you are plunged into periods of real misfortune, obscurity, or total lack of recognition, you don't turn bitter. You don't throw in the towel. You endure, you learn, and you emerge significantly stronger than you were before. True elites possess this immense mental fortitude, and they just straight up refuse to let their worth be dictated by temporary circumstances. Section 3. Expanding the soul. Time to move beyond the ego. So, for the true elite, their primary ambition isn't stocking up wealth or making sure their name is in the headlines. No, their main ambition is expanding the actual capacity, the vessel, if you will, of their soul. They look at every single challenge, every project, every late-night interaction as a golden opportunity to stretch this inner vessel. They're constantly making it larger, more capable of holding wisdom, empathy, and raw strength. In that true elite status, it is deeply, deeply intertwined with love and a profound sense of duty. When you're focused on expanding your soul, your ambition naturally stops being selfish. It completely transforms. Your daily work stops being just this annoying job you do to pay the bills, and it turns into a genuine spiritual calling. You are showing up out of a love for the craft, a love for the people you're serving, and this overriding duty to leave the world just a little bit better than you found it. All right, section 4, preparing for the future. Let's look at the daily grind of greatness. These steps really highlight that being a true elite isn't just some lofty, philosophical state of mind. It is a gritty, daily, and honestly often unglamorous grind of preparation. Step 1 is having the foresight to anticipate changing times. These folks are always looking ahead, constantly reading the currents of society. Step 2 is incredibly vital, relentless self-improvement during periods of obscurity. That means doing the really hard work when absolutely nobody is there to clap for you. Why? So that in step 3, the very moment the world shifts and humanity actually calls upon them, they are locked, loaded, and capable of delivering absolute maximum effort. There's this quote that just perfectly captures the absolute essence of their resilience. Do not neglect self-improvement, even in an era of misfortune. Think about it. When a fake elite faces a rough patch or an era of misfortune, they complain, they stagnate, they blame the economy or the world. But when a true elite is in that exact same situation, they hit the books, they practice their craft, they relentlessly sharpen their skills, because they recognize that obscurity is really just a training ground for the exact moment they'll be needed most. Which brings us to section 5, a calling for humanity, the ultimate purpose of the true elite. This right here is where everything culminates. The true elite don't build up all this incredible mental fortitude and expand their soul just to sit on top of a mountain and feel vastly superior to everyone else. Not at all. They use all of it, their expanded capacity, their quiet, relentless preparation, their unshakable resilience, solely to elevate other people. Their ambition is always dedicated outward, focused entirely on the happiness and progression of humanity. They become these incredibly strong pillars that society can lean heavily on when times get tough, simply because they've spent their entire lives forging themselves into something unbreakable. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, really provocative thought to chew on today. Take a hard look at your daily habits, your real motivations, and how you actually handle setbacks. Ask yourself, are you merely building a resume, or are you expanding your soul? Look, the path of the true elite is definitely not the easy one, but it's really the only one that leads to a legacy of genuine meaning and unbreakable strength. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack these incredible sources today. I really hope this challenges you to redefine your own path moving forward.